Okay, I'm Jasmine Renee Davis, and I'm about to call. I called about a week and a half ago, and then I'm calling again. There's some court orders for my son, like they're forcing him to go to all these different doctor's appointments. But I called to the insurance Care for Kids. I've been trying to get in touch with these agencies for over almost a year now, basically. Okay. And they don't want to really talk to me. They're not emailing me how they should. They're not replying to my question. I always say, oh, they're going to send it over to the supervisor. So I have found that these agencies really aren't there to help. All they're there to do is dispatch, to transfer the call and keep transferring and transferring and transferring until they pile up so many different cases where it's damn near impossible for me to handle my business. They interfere with everything so that I would drastically fail if I am not careful. And I know that I have not been as knowledgeable of the situation. I know that. I know that about myself. I know that I have to just continue to believe in myself and to know that I'm going to improve. I've let these people try to run over me. It's getting to the point now where they are trying to get full control. But my problem is why? That's the strange thing. That is the illegal thing. That is, and then they're dishonest. They are literally trying to drive me insane. But why? That's the big question. That is the great big question. Why? What is it that, why would they ever do that? Why do they have to be dishonest? Why do they have to try to drive me insane? Why is it that they are on so much mess? Constantly, over and over and over and over again. It's to the point where, they're so desperate. They have people pretending, calling into the district attorney's office about me, saying that they're me, canceling court dates. They're being the district attorney was dishonest on the phone. I have so many cases in court, and I should be able to call and handle all of my matters. And they're trying to make everything that I am basically illiterate to the point where they want to be in control. They not even handling their emails. They can't even read emails. I'm sitting here having to raise these people. Okay, these motherfuckers, man. I'm trying so hard. They're not going to bully me so they can be easier on them, to make it seem like that I cannot express the harm that they are doing to me. This shit does not feel good. It does not feel good. I'm not who they say I am. And I have to constantly deal with this shit. So now I'm about to call here, because they're forcing me into a religion and a belief in all kind of science that they want. They're going to try to turn my son into who they want my son to be, to make it good for them. They don't ask me. They don't notify me. It's court order that I participate in my son's school and his medical, anything about him. You know why? Because I have a right as his mother. So they can't leave that out. But what they're doing is refusing and complaining about me and making all kind of fake criminal cases. I have not been out here doing anything to cause any, if they want to give me a ticket for using the bathroom outside. How is that a criminal charge? Because they're dishonest in the cases, in their reports. The district attorney's office making up so much stuff. It's just unbelievable. And it's a problem. And so I have a problem. This is a serious matter. And something has to give. It has to work. I have to handle my matters. So I called to this doctor's office when I called. The one was trying to give me a hard time, like, oh, you want to meet with the doctor himself? Who else would I meet with about my son? And then they started along the same thing that they usually put me on. I said, you know what? He's not in the office today. I'm going to call tomorrow. And I did not call the next day. And I'm calling today. I do not have to deal with the abuse from those people at all, ever. And so now I'm sitting here about to handle my business and be on my way. I have so many calls that I need to make today. I have so much. I cannot keep letting these people waste. I try to be perfect. I need everything right. I can't just say it, but because I don't want my stuff to be sloppy and errors have constantly failed me. They have been failing me since I've been in elementary school. They've been doing designing shit for over 30 fucking years, man. This is what they do if they get away with it. They have stolen all of my property, my house, my cars, my money. My children are not my property, but now I'm naming they have stolen my children from me. And now they stole my dad and his body, his remains. They even stole my dad's remains. James Rector Davis. And then they tried to separate me from myself, to try to convince me when I overcame it and I proved to them that I'm not sick. Now they are trying to say that I'm mentally ill. But why? I have all the videos. I have everything that I'm supposed to have. But yet and still, I have to go through these troubling things where they're violating my rights, refusing to talk to me. All sorts of things. All sorts of problems. So here I am. I'm just going to go ahead on and make all these calls and keep proving it. Because something is going to happen. But either way how it happens, I'm putting it out here and I'm proving. I have to. I know people are going to be upset with me. I know there's going to be a lot of problems. But I don't know anybody else that have been through what I've been through. People can say that they are, or they have, you know what I'm saying? But they don't get into much detail about it. So I don't know what people are going through, but I see for myself so many problems. In the same system where I have to file lawsuits and all this stuff in Wisconsin courts, all of those clerks basically hate on me. They hate me. They don't want to talk to me. They don't do their job. They have falsified court records. They have allowed people to put fake evictions. They have stopped me from even evicting other people and getting money from it. And now it's coming back around where they have to have accountability. And so they're fighting me even worse. And then they're trying to say I'm disrespecting them. So I have to constantly do the groundwork and show at least I'm doing something. What proof do you have? I have literally video and audio. What do you have other than your words? I literally have my voice talking to you. Your voice with the phone number. I literally have emails. I literally have me out here in the streets every day, not bothering, harming nobody, living my life. But yet and still y'all hunt me. They have hunted me. Like I'm not supposed to be upset. Come on now. So I'm calling these people right now.
If you or the person you are calling for has a life-threatening emergency, please hang up and dial 911.
That's another thing.
Our fax number is 262.
They didn't even put my money on my deposit on my card today either. That's some more bullshit. And that's why I have to be careful of the things that I say and do. I emailed to the child support agency yesterday.
To speak with a member of our care team and for all other calls, press 2 or remain on the line.
But I know what I'm doing. I say what I have to say.
Thank you for calling Ascension Medical Group.
And these people have the words to use because that's their business.
You are calling for has a life-threatening emergency.
And you have to realize they're saying these things because they want you to know. And it's like you don't establish it. You're trying to live, but you're subscribing to everything that they're doing to keep somebody on the low risk. And it's risky. It is risky.
That number again is 262-687-2727. If you are calling to cancel an appointment, please press 1, and you will be connected to our confidential cancellation line.
I gotta just let them do whatever. Like no choice? Nah. And then they just, I don't know what the fuck happened with this.
If you or the person you are calling for has a life-threatening emergency, please hang up and dial 911. Our fax number is 262-687-8224. For assistance, please select from one of the following 2 options. If you need to schedule a well child appointment, please press 1. To speak with a member of our care team and for all other calls,
Thank you for calling Ascension Medical Group, All Saints. If you or the person you are calling for has a life-threatening emergency, please hang up and dial 911. Our office is closed at this time. If you are calling with a medical issue that cannot wait until the next business day, you may call to the answering service at 262-68.
That's a part. I should let that play out.
If you or the person you are calling for has a life-threatening emergency, please hang up and dial 911. Our fax number is 262-687-8224. For assistance, please select from one of the following 2 options.
809.
If you need to schedule a well child appointment, please press 1. To speak with a member of our care team and for all other calls, press 2 or remain.
Thank you for calling Ascension Medical Group, All Saints. If you or the person you are calling for has a life-threatening emergency, please hang up and dial 911. Our office is closed at this time. If you are calling with a medical issue that cannot wait until the next business day, you may call to the answering service at 262-687-2727. That number again is 262-687-2727. If you are calling to cancel an appointment, please press 1, and you will be connected to our confidential cancellation line.
The Ascension phone number you have reached.
I don't really know these numbers like that.
The Ascension phone number you have reached is now.
Oh, it's okay. This is ridiculous.
Allstate Hospital, this is the operator. How can I direct your call?
Hi, miss, who I'm speaking with?
Oh, my name is Dee.
Dee, I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. Hi, I'm calling.
Hi, Jasmine.
I'm calling to ask you a question. I don't know if you can answer it or not, but perhaps...
Okay, so first let me tell you who I am. This is the operator. Go to switchboard.
Right, that's why I know I've called this.
Okay.
So I know that you are a switchboard. That's why I was saying, you are a switchboard person. But can you answer questions about the times that like different offices are open there at Ascension? Like
which department?
For pediatrics.
Majority of them open up at 8.
Right.
Unless you go into like the lab or for X-ray.
Yeah,
they open a little earlier.
For pediatrics.
I'm sorry, for where?
Pediatrics.
Pediatrics for all things should be open.
Yeah, I know. But the problem is their answering service is telling me that they're closed right now.
They're not closed.
And that's the unprofessionalism
they're open.
I know.
So someone's got to do the phone. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if
it's
I can find an alternate number.
But that's what the problem is. I deal with a lot of unprofessionalism when I call there. And so this is a problem for me. And that's why I'd rather take care of my own. I mean, what's the point?
Right. Let me see if I can find a different number. Hold on one moment.
Well, I called 1262.
But I understand exactly what you're saying.
So I want to tell you, I called 1262-687-8282. So if you can get a different number than that, I understand.
Okay, hold on one moment.
I appreciate it. Seriously. Oh my goodness. I already know. This is the proof right here, please. People are so used to people being killed and dying around here. They're all numb. It don't matter. They just keep going. And they have to and they should. But at what point are these people going to still do the things that they are doing? It's ridiculous. And they see my number on the caller ID as well. That's another problem. I never knew anything like this. I never dealt with this shit for over 20 years. I ain't gonna say 20 years. For over 16 years. But then I still was handling my son's stuff. So for about, I don't even know, and my own stuff. So I could say about 20 years, I never dealt with this stuff. But throughout the course of these, I would say probably at least 5 years, I've been dealing with this shit. But it's been constant over and over again. But through the whole time, even when I was in the hospital with my daughter, even when I was in the hospital with my son, going through all this stuff, it's been, instances where I will overcome it. Because something somewhere out there. But it was something that said, there are those who are kept when they don't even know that they need to be kept. But I need to know what's happening. I cannot be blind and let people just catch me by surprise. Now, why did the number that I was just transferred to just ring and ring and ring and then go to a busy signal? Please, somebody. That is unprofessional. I called 2 times and it said that their office is closed. So now this is what I'm about to do. It ain't nothing. It don't matter. I'm about to call them and talk, and I'm going to file a notice about it.
Hospital, this is the operator. How can I direct your call?
Hi, I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. May I have speaking with, please?
Hi, Jasmine. This is Steve again.
Okay, this is a new call.
After
Actually,
I transferred you over, I called that first number that you gave me, and someone did answer.
Well, I have a recording I recorded the whole call. And their voicemails, maybe that's why I said, if they answer, they may be screening my calls. Because
no, they don't screen the calls.
They have caller ID.
Just try to transfer you.
But no. I'm far beyond that. I had called 2 times, and then that number, when you transfer me, it went to a busy signal. Now, what department do I talk to file a notice? No, you're not going to control the narrative in this call. Please.
You said I'm not going to control the narrative. I'm trying to explain something.
No, but I did not call for that reason.
I understand. Just give me 1 minute.
No, for what?
I called that number after I talked to you, and it went straight through. So I don't know if something happening when you dial it, but if you like, I can transfer you again.
That's not why I'm calling.
Go through, you can call back and ask for D.
No, for what? You're on the phone now. I don't want to call that number right now. So I'm already past it. I called that number 2 times and they said that their office was closed. And so why won't you hear? I'm trying to tell you, but you want to control you're telling me.
I'm not controlling. Just tell me where you would like to be transferred to and I can transfer you.
So I'm asking, who would I talk to, whether it be a complaint or report or whatever, about the conduct and their telephone etiquette and the things like that in pediatrics? Because I did call that number and their voicemail said that they were not open, that their office was closed.
So, yeah, and I don't know why.
And it doesn't matter. It was after 8 o'clock. It was after 8 o'clock.
I did call right after I talked to you and I got straight through.
So it was after 8 o'clock. So I would like to know.
So I don't know if something was going on with their phone at that moment, but I called right after I spoke to you and I got straight through.
But I'm not trying to call you all and have a relationship with you. Every time I call, I expect for this to be a formal call. I don't want it to be like I'm buddy because I don't call for the same reason. So I don't want you all to handle it like for the same reason. I do not need that. I have to be professional and I have to constantly just basically degrade myself do all of the stuff. That does not feel good. I don't have to tell you about my feelings or whatever, but that is a conflict of interest constantly. I have stuff to do just as well as you have to talk to people every day. You might want to build a relationship or whatever, but you don't even know. It could be somebody else with the same name as me. You don't know, and for you to just go off into conversation like that, I'm offended by that. And I'm trying to explain to you, hi, I'm Jasmine Renee Davis, man, so I'm speaking with. And you go on, and I try to say, I'm not even calling about that, please. But then you gonna pressure me into still going through. I don't appreciate that. You all it's so unprofessional. You are a hospital. And you know what? Sometimes they call it a church. Come on now, keep it real. I don't need this mess. I'm not coming to you because I want to, it's a serious issue and you don't know why people are calling. I do not have to I have so much I have to do during my day. I don't want to be beat up before 9 o'clock in the morning. I have to get through my day without having to beg and plead and stroke somebody else's ego. Please. And it's just like that. It's exactly what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be rude or mean, but this is where it is. It's unprofessional. Now, you're not going to force me to keep calling them. I'm past that right now. I want to make a documentation of this and I want some answers because it's way after 8 o'clock. I asked you, what time does the office open? You did not tell me. All you said was they're supposed to be open. What time does pediatrics open there at Ascension?
Now, is it my turn to talk?
I asked you a question. If you can answer my question, sure.
How am I going to answer your question when you keep talking?
This is some fucked up
shit. Please. Jasmine.
No, I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. I'm not, what is it? I'm not playing. I never introduced myself as Jasmine to you.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm trying to answer your question.
But I did not authorize you to call me just Jasmine.
I'm going to have to disconnect this call.
Yeah. I'm sure. You see how they do? These motherfuckers be going off of whatever. I don't want to be like them. I don't want to have nothing to do with them. Hi, man, so I'm speaking with. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis.
This is Operator K.
Okay, so I am calling, and I would like to get the phone number to who I can speak to about filing a complaint or report about phone etiquette and office behaviors or etiquettes with pediatrics. I know that I called after. Can you tell me, first of all, what time does pediatrics open?
They usually open around 8 a.m.
Okay, because way after 8 o'clock, okay, even around 8:15, their phone system was saying that they're still closed. And I called more than one time. And so then I was transferred and then to some phone, and then they didn't even answer that and went to a busy signal. So I'm beyond calling them right now. I'm going to call them some other time. But at this point, I want to document this. And I want to know who to document it with, please.
What number do you have for pediatrics? What's the phone number?
Why are you asking me that?
Just so I can verify that that you're dialing the right number.
I just told you that I called pediatrics and that pediatrics said I didn't call you to verify, but I didn't call you about that though. Can you answer my question and then I can answer anything else? But I asked you a question.
Okay.
So why can't you answer my question? Why are you giving me assignments? That's not what this is about. I called you. And so you need to tell me who I'm supposed to speak. That's your job. To tell me who I'm supposed to speak to. I told you exactly what I'm looking for, and you know your job, and I'm sure you know it well enough that you can answer my question. I know who I called. I didn't call the wrong number. And so it does not matter. It does not matter if I called the wrong number or not. I know that I can reserve any right or whatever it is to get that information. So please tell me, okay? Who is it? Or Operator K, or whatever your name is. At Ascension, though. And can you verify the name of the business that you work at? Because I know it's more than Ascension. I just want to be sure. Because this is starting to escalate. And I'm going to have to keep calling. And then this is a problem. You all are almost harassing me. I'm calling for a reason. I have to beg and cry and plead. Why? You don't see how serious this is? Y'all so conditioned, like going to a doctor is just a walk in a park like it's an elective or something. That don't happen with my son. It don't happen like that. Okay? Ascension not giving me that same respect or regard that you get from the good doctor. Okay? So please, just answer my question. For all these things in the world, that's all I ask you to do, please. Because I do not want to turn this around. I have to file a complaint against you all. Because that's where it's getting to. You all in Switchboard are just getting too nosy and beside yourself. Please be professional.
Okay, so you would have to speak to the manager of pediatrics department if you want to file a complaint. And this is All Saints Hospital at Ascension. That's the full name of the hospital.
I do not want to file a complaint with the manager because I've already tried to do that previously and it was not to my success or whatever. This is a different matter, but I'm just letting you know that who else can I speak to?
That would be the only person you would have to speak with that particular department is the manager of pediatrics. I don't know who it is, but you would just have to ask for like the charge person of that department.
Actually, so who handles the day-to-day problems that occur in the hospital?
It just depends on who you have the problem with. They
So,
used to have a Pride line, but they no
right.
longer have that line. So whatever department you have a problem with, you would have to speak to that manager of that department.
So what is in place of that Pride line now?
They don't. There's no number any longer. They don't have the number any longer, unfortunately.
So what's the information to the corporate, for All Saints Hospital's Ascension? Is that the proper name?
They have a corporate number, but they don't have like anyone at the corporate office. Like I said, you would have to speak to whatever department that you're having the issue with. You would have to speak to the manager of that department.
No, I know that. No, I can do better than that. What's that number for that corporate for that corporate office, please?
Just a second. Do you have something to write the number down with?
Why are you asking me that?
Because I'm just going to provide you with the number so I can give it to you. Just make sure you're ready to write it down.
I asked you for the number. Can you please tell me that number?
It's 414-465-3000.
And so as 3,000, what exactly do you mean by 3,000?
465-3000.
And can you tell me the country code as well, please?
The what code?
Country code.
It's 414.
That's an area code.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the country code?
I don't know what the country code is. What is the country code?
I don't know exactly where this number is coming from, so I couldn't possibly tell you what that country code is. And that's why I asked, because I would like to know where I'm calling. Does that place have an address?
It's 414. That's the Milwaukee area code.
Does that place have an address?
It's 400 West Riverwoods Parkway, Glendale, Wisconsin.
You said that was Milwaukee. What's that zip code there, please?
53212.
And when you say 400, can you describe to me exactly what 400? But I want you to know I'm being serious.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
When you said 400, can you say each number individually so I can make sure I have the correct numbers? And the
400, 400.
Okay, and then you said it's Milwaukee. So I'm asking you, where in this address is it saying Milwaukee? Because I didn't get that part yet.
Because Milwaukee is Milwaukee. Are you from Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
No, why are you asking me that? No, are you serious? Why are you asking me that? That has nothing to do with this conversation.
I'm just asking you because Glendale is like a part of Wisconsin. It's saying it's in Milwaukee.
Okay, well,
it's Glendale, Wisconsin. It's the same as it's like a little suburb from Milwaukee.
Okay, because I did not know that. And besides, but you did not say it's Glendale. You said it's Milwaukee. So that does matter in the address, because when I asked you about the address, you said it's Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So if I went to try to reach out to these people by saying Milwaukee, it wouldn't have gotten there.
Yes, it would. I said the area code to the phone number is Milwaukee. Glendale, Wisconsin, it's all in Wisconsin.
Right, you may have said that, but I had asked you for the address.
Mm-hmm.
And I also asked you for the country code. And you said 414. And so now that I know that it is Wisconsin, and so
to that phone number.
So what country would that be in?
What do you mean? What country? What state are you looking for?
Oh, please!
It's in Wisconsin.
Oh my. Oof. No, I said the country.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's the phone number, 414-465-3000. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's the number. But the address is in Glendale, Wisconsin. It's all in Wisconsin. Glendale is just like a suburb from Milwaukee.
And so you say you're an operator?
Yes.
Okay, and so can you tell me what country Glendale, Wisconsin is in? Country.
What do you mean, what country? Like United States?
OUNTRY. The country.
I'm confused.
What's the continent?
What do you mean, what
What's the
country?
continent? What's the continent?
The United States, ma'am.
United States what? See, what you're going to have to realize is these are serious questions. My son, hold on, no. You all have, my son and I have people that I care about that are patients there. And if you all can't even answer these questions, this is a problem. I can't even have a serious phone call with you all and ask you to verify so that I can even answer the question that you asked me. You asked me what's the country code. And in order for me to tell you what the country code is, I have to know what continent or what country Glendale, Wisconsin is in, because I do not know everything about every map. But what I know is you all are very unprofessional.
I'm sorry you feel that way. So Glendale is in the United States. It's all in the United States.
The United States of what, though?
United States of America.
Okay, so that country code would be 1. That's the country code. 1. If you call anywhere else, you would have to have a country code. If you call somewhere out of the United States of America, you have to have a country code. That's what routes your phone number. And if you're saying this is information that you should know. And so that's a problem. Now, you said that the number that you provided me, that you said to me, 1414, you said 414-465-3000.
That's correct.
And that's the number for the corporate office, or is it some other place?
That's the number to the corporate office.
And is that what is that office called? What's the name of it?
Ascension's corporate office.
And you said that there is nothing else like a Pride line or anything like that. So if someone, even if it's just a general statement that I want to make about the whole hospital, there's no particular department. If I want to make something about the hospital, if it's something about the doors or anything.
Yeah, you would have to speak to that specific department, unfortunately.
But if there is no specific department.
Yeah, like you would have to, if you want to complain to something like about the doors, you would probably have to speak to security or maintenance, something like that.
And what if those people do not handle the problem if they ignore it?
I don't know. You would have to probably escalate it to their manager.
You all are condensing and minimizing the way that people can prove themselves. It's getting really harsh there. Seriously, because these are documents and these are different things and records that people should still have access to. So all the records when somebody made to the Pride line, who holds those records now? All the complaints. I filed a complaint before with the Pride line. So who would know that information? I would like to talk to who would have that information.
You would probably have to speak to someone at the corporate office, ma'am.
Oh, my. Yeah, this is something else. And if you cannot see the severity of what is happening there, I don't know, but I'm going to just continue to live. So that's all. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. My email address is JASMINE_RENEEDAVIS@outlook.com. This call, I'm sure, is being recorded from Ascension. All Saints Hospitals, but I'm also recording this call. And so this is notice, there's just a problem with how you all, handle, these calls there. It's just a lot of just some problems here. I'm not here to judge you, but I am here to stand up for myself. But I can tell you right to yourself, you all have some issues. So this is notice and so many grounds for litigation as well. But anyway, I appreciate the information and the call. Is there anything else that you had to say to me now?
No, just thank you, and you have a great rest of your day. I'm sorry that you feel that way.
No, thank you for what, though?
I said thank you for calling, and you have a great rest of your day.
Oh, yeah, it's a waking day, so I appreciate the information, but it's not about a particular feeling, but I can tell you that I'm actually crying right now. If you can understand how these things seem so little, and they mean so much. The illiteracy and everything that I have to see constantly. And this is what I have to be subjected to. It's problematic. It's not fair. It's not easy to watch things have to waste away. I cannot be treated like trash. It's so much better. This is not what this stuff should be, that has been interpreted as. But perhaps it is what it's made upon. So I don't know. But not everything is the same. And so that is a good thing. So I'm here. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. I appreciate the information.
Okay, you're welcome.
This is such a serious matter. For real. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. This is so beyond, you know what I'm saying? What I have to go through to show the dire, like the disparities that Wisconsin is in, and they getting worse. And I know it's somebody that said, oh, it's getting better. It's the best ever. And like that, it's a problem. I'm here. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. And then I don't want them to say, oh, just give up or diagnose my child with something or, something uncontrollable or something like that. Because I already can't keep an eye on him. But I'm so happy that my mother can. That's a good thing. But I call the schools, they don't even want to talk to me.
For all other calls, please press 3 to be connected with an operator. You have reached Ascension, Wisconsin, Glendale, located at 400 West Riverwoods Parkway. For human resources, press 1. For billing questions, press 2. For all other calls, please press 3 to be connected with an operator.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. Your call will be answered by the first available operator.
And it's not, I can do this all day, but it's cold outside too. But it's not only that. I can handle my stuff. But you know what? I'm so much better.
Thank you for calling Ascension, Wisconsin Corporate Office, Glendale. How may I direct your call today?
Hi. Okay. So that's one of my questions, to see, are you the actual corporate office that handles the entire hospitals, or do you have a specific region that you cover? Or can you tell me more about the corporate office? And also, may I ask your name, please? I'm Jasmine Renee Davis.
How you doing, Miss Davis? My name is Diane.
Okay, so I'm calling to just ask those questions, and I want to kind of just keep this, straight to the point. So I have some concerns or whatever, and so that's really, the purpose and what I'm doing. So I don't really know what you mean by how I'm doing, but I
I just asked you how you were doing today. That's all.
Oh, yeah. It's not even so much about that right now. I'm just taking care of myself, but I want to kind of get some calls through. Made a turn, in my plans today, but now I'm here calling you, and I'm happy to be on the phone calling you all, but I just would like to know more about your office so I can make sure that I'm talking to the appropriate, place to speak to
Okay, so
the
you've reached
appropriate
the
person.
switchboard, and we answer for all 7 hospitals. So we just transfer to different and various departments, doctors, upper management, and things like that.
When you say upper management, what do you mean by upper management?
Like administrations of the hospital.
Okay. So you are not the actual administration of the hospital. You're more of like a switchboard.
I'm definitely not the administrator of the hospital.
Oh, okay. So, but are you the administration building?
Well, yes, this is a corporate office that you called.
Okay.
I'm just the operator. I'm one of the operators.
So when you say corporate office, what does that exactly mean? Because I'm kind of seeing a different place in what I intended to call, like from hearing what you're saying, but also
the corporate office is where the big people work. All the administrators, some of us operators work out of here, security and things like that.
Okay, sure. So you are the right you are the appropriate corporate office that I'm looking for.
Okay.
And then you also can transfer calls to the 7 hospitals that you all have.
And that is correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm looking to speak with someone in administration about some matters about, your hospital.
For which one of our hospitals, ma'am?
For Ascension All Saints.
For Ascension All Saints, okay.
And can you tell me the exact name of, how is that pronounced exactly? Like, what's the exact name and spelling?
Of which one?
Of Ascension All Saints. It's in, Racine, Wisconsin on Spring Street. I don't
and you want the exact spelling of the hospital name?
Yes, because I want to make sure I have it right. Because it changed. It used to be like Wheaton Franciscan.
Yeah, it used to be Wheaton, and then
it was St.
got
Mary's.
bought out by Ascension.
It was St. Mary's before. I mean, the name has changed a few times. So I just want to make sure I have the accurate spelling and the proper name and order. Because I was told it's Ascension Hospitals, All Saints Hospital Ascension.
That's correct.
And so that's how it's said? All Saints Hospital Ascension?
The way you said it backwards. Is actually Ascension All Saints Hospital.
Sure.
You just put the Ascension in front of the All Saints.
Okay, that's why I was wondering, because it did not seem like that's how it would be. And so that's why I want to make sure.
Yes.
Now, is Ascension spelled ASCENSION?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Oh, okay. So, I didn't know, because I just kind of spelled it out. I didn't know if it was a AC or what. Okay. And then, it's Ascension All Saints Hospitals.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so what's the name of the corporate office, though? Like, who owns it? Who owns that? Like, what's the name of that?
What's the name of it's just Ascension Corporate Office.
And so Ascension Corporate Office owns all 7 of the hospitals?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so I would like to speak to someone who is in control in your, like, what's the top person that works there who handles the affairs or the day-to-day business and care of those hospitals? Who is that person?
That would be the president of the hospital, and we never transfer to the president of the hospital.
So what's the name of the president of the hospital?
I know they just switched. They just got a new one, and I'm not quite sure of his or her name.
Okay, I can hold the phone so you can get that information, because I know I can. I'm sure I could know that name. So I can hold while you get that.
Let me put you on a brief hold while I look that up.
You can put the call on a brief hold. I have to be really careful and know what I'm saying. For real.
Okay, ma'am, that president's name is Mr. Daniel Jackson.
Okay, Mr. Daniel Jackson. Is there like a middle initial or anything?
No, I don't see a middle initial or anything.
Okay, and so that person works out of this 400 West Riverwoods Parkway, Glendale, Wisconsin. And that's and that person is a president. And is that the name of that person's, Mr. Daniel Jackson's office?
Yes, he has a secretary, but I don't know. I just see his name. It doesn't tell me who his secretary is.
Oh, okay, yeah, but I was just asking about that person.
Yeah, because he's fairly new. I don't even think it's been a week yet.
Okay, but that person can pick up whatever's happening with the hospital or whatever. And any mail can go to that person. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so who is the person that you can transfer my call to when I need to make some reports and complaints about the hospital and different things that have happened in the hospital, like with pediatrics, and just overall how things are being handled with insurance, the social workers and things of that nature?
Okay, so now those calls go to the department managers.
No,
so
actually, I'm way beyond that.
Pediatrics.
Yeah, no, I'm way beyond that. I'm way beyond that. I've already tried all of that, and they're still being disrespectful. I was trying to get my children medical records and all kinds of stuff. I mean, this has been going on for years now, and now courts are involved in all kinds of stuff. So I'm not gonna sit here and keep going back and forth with them, and then I get in trouble and get a criminal charge or something, arguing and fighting with them. I need to let you all know that I'm serious about this. I'm not here to play around. Just as well as that Mr. Daniel Jackson went to school probably, or wherever he got his good education. He put in the effort, and I'm sure it was a fight at times. That man had to do everything he can to prove that he can be an actual president of 7 hospitals. So I am not going to allow anything other. If that man, you all can give him a regard that he can show and prove himself to handle, one person can handle 7 whole hospitals with all those different departments that employ all of y'all, and he have to be responsible for everything and know everything that happens there. I want you to understand how serious my life is to me. That is his job. Okay? And so this is my personal life. This has everything to do with me. And so I'm going to keep working hard and putting in the effort and go to every step. It just is that Mr. Daniel Jackson started off at whatever he started. Even if that man started off school in 12th grade, that man had to go through all kinds of education, whether it was just by word of mouth he got it, or by degrees or awards or whatever. So I'm handling my stuff. I'm not going to keep allowing you all to fail me and to constantly go through the same thing. Okay, I have been dealing with this stuff. I tried to talk to those people and get through to the doctor. They don't even want me to talk to the doctor. It is just a mess.
Well, I do apologize that you're going through all that, but it sounds like you just need to get some medical records. If
No,
I'm
it does
understanding
not.
what you said correctly.
No, that is not. I told you.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I know I heard medical record.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I do
I'm
apologize.
very
I mean,
point on
it's
this.
only so
So
much
who
I
else
can
is
do
it
from my end.
who else's office that I can speak to there, please? So if not the president, then who?
1 second.
Because I know I can write a letter into there, so I'm already planning on doing that because I see that it's going to be tough you guys are going to guard everything that you do and protect your job and not care about the people who's actually coming through there to employ you. And that's a problem. Why don't you all just show up and you see how that happens? They need to show up and be patient and keep it in the family for they shit and not try to put everybody else into it since it's only about them. And that was unprofessional for that woman to have this phone ringing and not even say where it goes to.
Thank you for contacting the Office of Ascension, Wisconsin Patient Relations. I'm sorry to have missed your call, as I'm currently on my phone or away from my office. If you are calling with feedback regarding your experience, please leave a detailed message with the spelling of your name and phone number. And if you are not the patient, please provide the patient's spelling of their name and date of birth. Thank you.
I am Jasmine Renee Davis, and I am calling to speak thoroughly and professionally and as a matter of factly, just precisely, just accurately, please, in the most formal, just the most professional way possible to you all about a matter, and it could be upsetting, that I have been having with this Ascension All Saints hospitals. This stuff has been building up throughout the years, and it's now affecting at a higher scale and at a higher grade and a much higher level. And it even goes to as far as when I've called like a week and a half ago to the pediatrics office, and those people didn't even want to, they treat me as if I just don't know. They always want to change what I'm saying. They hear my words, but they always say, do I mean, or is it that, or is it actually? I understand that they want to have the exact, wording or whatever. But then even when I repeat myself and I say, I'm sure why I'm calling, then it goes to another level of impossibility or a fight or just a disregard. But then today I called to handle some of these matters and to see about making sure I attend appointments for my son and talk to them about my son and different things like that. It's not about medical records, but it is about making a record and filing a report and perhaps some complaints. I have to know your definition of complaint because I care about myself and I also care about myself socially. And that's what you all have to realize. I have to live outside in the world. I have to go outside and I have to face the light of day and other people. And everything matters, especially when you all have all kinds of systems in place and all kinds of security and departments and investigators. People take it to the streets. But I'm trying to be professional, but I want you to know that these things actually matter to me. I don't plan on my son being sick forever. And that's what you all going to have to realize. This stuff has been going on for so long. You are not doing anything to talk to me so that why do my son have to continually go there to you all for what? You don't have the solutions. You don't have the answers. And I know that I don't have to go there. But this is the problem. I've been given information to go to different places. And then they say, your son is not even, he's not even the age that can even come here. Your son is too old. But then your doctors have made reports that say, oh, you know what? Jasmine Renee Davis or Miss Davis or my son, his mother wouldn't even make the appointments with those places. It seems like they're setting me up for failure. And now is the time for truth. And these things are really important. You all have made false records about me. You have even said that my son was in foster care. You treat him the way that my son, the records that you all have said when I was there at the appointment, you made it seem like my son was just so bad and hard. It didn't even happen like that. I read the records, and that's why you all are giving me a hard time accessing those medical records. Sure you are. But I should be able to access all of the medical records, even with my daughter before she even turned 15 or whatever you all say. You still did not let me get the medical records for my children. And that's a problem. But when I did access some of it, what I did read was that you all were inappropriate in your noting and your charting and how you choose to get your money and get paid through the insurance. My phone number is 1262-5057-137. But I would like you to send me an email to confirm this call at JASMINE_RENEEDAVIS@outlook.com. Some would say that you all are misappropriating funds or that it could be fraud. So I went ahead and put that through like that. I'm fine with calling. I have an address. I'm going to send a letter. I'm not going to keep going through these drastic measures. It's 8:57 a.m. I have calls to make today. It's no more. I'm not going to sit here and give these people my time.
Emergency.
This is too fucking serious. And it may not be that big of a deal, but it is for me. I can't keep going and sit up in them people's jails. For what?
8224.
I can't get no books or nothing. Ain't nobody sending me no books. I ain't getting shit that I need. I can't use a phone. Just sit in a cell and wait for them people to come. I can handle anything that comes up against me, but at the same time, they're punishing me.
Press 2 or remain on the line.
How can I just have to stop everything? These things have statutes of limitations and everything. They know what the fuck they're doing.
Your call may be monitored for quality.
They know what they're doing.
We apologize as we are currently scheduling other callers.
I've been going through this
Please
stuff
continue to hold for our next available agent. If you have an active MyChart account, you may request non-urgent medical advice or receive prescription refill assistance by using the Message Center link on the left side menu bar of your MyChart homepage.
The message, I'm sure they have that message. But they need to get, I don't know. See, the thing is, I'm well, I can say multicultural or diversified or verse or what. I don't know how to say it. But what I can say is this. I know how to handle things. And that's what, I have great qualities. That's outstanding.
Pediatric reception, this is Aileen. Can we help you?
I am Jasmine Renee Davis, and I'm asking, I had tried to call you all earlier about 8:15. What time did you all open today?
We open at 8 o'clock.
Okay, but if you open at 8 o'clock, Eileen, why did your phone system say that you were not open?
That I don't know. I'm not in charge of the phone systems, but the phones do turn on at 8 o'clock in the morning.
And so when they turn on at 8 o'clock in the morning, why would it tell me to call the on-call phone number?
I have no idea, but I can check with my supervisor to find out what the issue was.
I called more than one time on 2 separate occasions.
Okay, well, I will let her know. Like I said, I don't know why it would do that. I have no clue, but I can check with my supervisor.
Is your supervisor the one that handles that sort of issue?
Well, she can check into it, yes.
Okay, with what department?
She's a supervisor of pediatrics.
No, who would she check into that problem?
Whoever handles our phone systems.
That's why I was asking. Do you know who handles your phone systems?
I have no idea. I'm a receptionist. I don't have anything to do with the phone. I just answer them.
Well, I can look into that. Okay, so I am Jasmine Renee Davis. I'm calling about my son. His date of birth is December 28, 2011. The spelling of his name is TYRELLEDWARDMORRIS.
So the last name is Morris, Tyrell. Okay. And what can I help you with?
Edward. I did name more than just that, please. So I'm
Tyrell Edward Morris?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And so
I've got him up.
You have his file up there?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Because I know he's not at any appointment there today. Okay, so I'm calling. I want to speak to someone about his points of how you all have for his points of care, the reasoning, the rationale why. And I also want to make sure that I am, you all are making sure that you are notifying me about his appointments, that I know the appointment times and the scheduled dates, and that I'm active in that. And not only that, I would like to speak with the doctor that, I have not even met that doctor yet. The previous doctor that he had actually retired. I didn't even get a notification that that doctor had retired. It went so far as if, as it caused problems with insurance. It was like, it seemed like some kind of insurance fraud. I don't know, but his briefs were not even being delivered for months because you all did not even update JB Medical on the change of the doctors. You never notified me. Care for Kids didn't notify me. No social worker, nobody notified me. And I don't appreciate that. I have always been the one to take care of my son and his appointments and everything. And it's no different today. I go through whatever, but I'm going to stand firm on this. I try to avoid fighting with you all. And so I don't call for a while. But you know what? I'm just here for it. Whatever you all have to throw at me, I'm going to just have to catch it and just make something of it because I have to get my stuff through. And I don't want any interference in that.
Okay.
I called a week and a half ago.
I can tell you he does not have any appointments scheduled for the future. There's nothing here. I can put a note in here to contact you when appointments are scheduled for him. We have him living with I believe, grandma.
I did not ask you all that. Why did you say that, though?
Why did I say what? I just want to make sure because I can put a note here that we can call you when appointments are scheduled because we have him living with grandma at this moment.
He does reside with my mother.
Okay, so she is the one that calls and schedules appointments, usually. But if you want to be notified when the appointments are scheduled, we can certainly do that.
And so, but what difference does it make to bring her into this equation? I'm calling you.
I'm just saying that that's who we have in the system as the primary contact. I'm not saying anything else. I'm just saying that she's the one that we have in here right now.
Okay,
and we also have you listed.
Yeah, okay, that's all I'm about to say.
Oh, yeah. If you want to be called, we can certainly call you.
And so that's why I said, so you don't need to. My mother speaks for herself. My mother handles her matters. And so I don't need to discuss my mother with you because my mother is not your patient. If there is something that comes up that you all have a concern, sure, talk to me about it. Or if you find that there's a conflict and for professional reasons, you want to talk to me about some difference in whatever the care for my son, then sure, you can talk to me about that. But as far as telling me, what you have listed, I appreciate the information or whatever, but that was not the proper answer to what I said to you. And so you could have brought that up later in the conversation as a comment, not a response to my question. And that's just being straightforward, like just being real with you in the situation, please.
Okay. I just was trying to tell you that we can contact you when appointments are scheduled or when you call, you can call and make an appointment for him.
Right. I know that, but this is the thing. There is a social worker that has been involved in that case that you also did not mention, that you all have been talking to. Is that correct? Do you see that?
I do not know if anybody's talked to a social worker. I don't have any notes here about that.
So
I'm seeing what's on my screen here.
Oh, you don't have that. Oh, that's interesting. And what about Care for Kids?
The Care for Kids stuff would be in the chart. We do get stuff from them periodically, which I don't go directly into the chart. I only bring the account up.
So when is the most recent time that you've got any information from Care for Kids or anything, any conversation or any type of medium or media or whatever you have received, any documents or whatever? And Care for Kids.
The last time we got anything from Care for Kids was back in July of 24.
And what was that?
It was information regarding him and eating issues, referral to gastroenterology. When he was seen for his last dental exam, it's just basically medical information.
And how do I access all of that information so I can read thoroughly what you all have pertaining to my son?
Well, that you could get from Care for Kids. If you wanted to come here to get that information, you would have to go to our medical records department and sign a release to get it.
I've already been through that to get and actually Care for Kids is refusing to even have the conversation, although they're supposed to. They even sent me an email saying that I still have my rights, but they're not having a conversation. I asked them. All they do is just send me a list of who the doctors are. That's it. You all have the records. Whatever you're giving Care for Kids, whatever Care for Kids is.
We can't release any medical records without a release being signed by the parents. So you would have to come and sign a release in our medical records department to get any kind of medical records that you need.
How many times do I have to do that?
You have to do that every time you want a medical record. It's from what I understand. I don't work in medical records, but
no.
From what I understand is you have to sign a release every time you want something.
No, you all have a portal where I can go on there and access anything. And what is that called?
That would be the My Chart.
Yeah. So, what is the My Chart?
It's through Epic where you can have access to your chart and you can find information. Because Tyrell is 13, however, he has to give you permission to have access to that. It's anybody over the age of 12.
Okay, and how are you asking me to have my son to give me permission to access his records?
He would have to either come in with you or sign something giving you permission to have access to his My Chart. Okay,
sure. So I would like to make an appointment for that to happen.
Well, you don't need an appointment for
yes,
that.
I have to. No.
You bring him with you.
No.
We can do it verbally or just with him here.
This is an urgent matter. There's court orders that you all cannot interfere with as well.
I understand that, but the releases have to be signed in order for any medical records to be released. And because he's over the age of 12, the My Chart is, we have to have his permission to give you access to his My Chart.
I've already been through this. So check in it because it says that the My Chart have been activated and it was connected to my chart there.
Okay.
So you need to check reference.
Once he turned 12, then it was deactivated because he has to give you permission to have a My Chart.
Okay, and once I talked to you all in 2024, it was verified that I've already been through that with you all and that I am in control of what the narrative is right now. Okay, and I know that it was, I believe, in July of 2024, you all have verified. And if it wasn't you, I'm sure that I talked to you during that time. Okay. And you even verified that my son, My Chart is connected to mine already. And I have that recorded. Audio.
Okay. I don't recall that. I don't see anything in here about a My Chart. Please. But because back then we had a form that was signed. So let me just look at something. Just a moment. My chart proxy.
All this stuff out here.
How do you usually sign your name? Because I do have a My Chart proxy here, but I can't read the signature.
I signed Jasmine. It probably says my name is Jasmine Renee Davis, but I've signed. That's for me. Yeah, you have it, please.
Yeah, because it looks like it's like with a little heart above the eye,
And
possibly.
a star. Do you see? Like, yeah. So that's.
Okay.
It
So
does not matter.
let me see, because we do have a My Chart proxy in here. Let me see.
And I
where
signed my
what
name.
happened with that.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, and you still have active. You're active, and he's still listed on there.
that's what I'm trying to talk to you about.
Yeah, so you should have access to his My Chart. It should, when you go into yours, he should be in there with a separate tab.
And so that's what I was trying to tell you, but you told me no. But I was trying to explain to you, I do not know how to access. I don't have the information to access it exactly. There has to be specific codes and other things that are involved to make sure.
Well,
but also, I wanted you all to make
okay.
sure I get
Well,
the
your account is active. So if you know the username and the password, you should be able to log in.
Okay, I do not have I'm not being seen currently there.
Okay.
Okay.
But you
So
still have
I don't have a doctor
because
there.
It's active. So I can give you the username, and then you could go into it, and then just redo the password.
What's the username that you have?
One Brilliant
One. Yes.
So OneBrilliant, and the number 1.
Right. And so I just want to make sure, that you all understand this. But my question is, would everything that you all have from the correspondence with the social worker that's from Kenosha, Wisconsin, that person's name is Chelsea Goetz. Do you have any information about Chelsea Goetz or Michelle Lang or Pamela Condos having any correspondence with you or your doctors or anything like that? And how do I access that information?
I don't see any of that. I just see this last note that they sent us back in July of 24, and that it was from, let me see if I can see who it was from. Scroll down. That one was from Chelsea Calvert.
Chelsea Calvert is with Care for Kids.
Right. That's the only thing that we have in here. I don't have anything from like the social worker through Kenosha Family Services. There's nothing in here from them.
Oh, so you know exactly the agency.
Yes.
So so there has been no orders or no updates or no court orders that have been given to you all?
Not that I see. Nobody's brought in anything to be scanned into the system.
So you don't even have them checking on his care and seeing anything about his progress or any of that?
I don't see anything with regard to that.
So ever since 2000, so even before then, before July 2024, have you had any sort of contact with the Kenosha, Wisconsin Division of Children and Family Services?
Let me check. Just let me
Please.
go through the telephone notes and see if there's anything here. By telephone, just a moment. I only see stuff from Care for Kids. I see nothing from Kenosha County Family Services.
Okay, so the Division of Children Family Services. Okay. So now, as far as from insurance or anything like that, do you see anything that the insurance would say that my son would have to have or anything of that nature?
Well, his insurance is through the state, well, through Care for Kids. It's through Medicaid, through Care for Kids. And he's supposed to be seen every year for a well visit. Last well was, let's see. He was seen for a follow-up. His last visit was October 18th of 24. And he's seen every 6 months for follow-up, so he does need to have a follow-up visit scheduled for Care for Kids.
So you said October what date?
October 18th.
Yeah, okay. And you said that he has to have another one when?
He should have another one in 6 months, which is right around now, but nobody's called to schedule that yet.
You said 6 months, but you just said that it's supposed to be every year.
Well, Care for Kids does things a little bit differently with the older kids. They have to be seen every 6 months. And once they reach a certain age, then they see him yearly. Then they have a see him yearly, but he's 13. They want him seen every 6 months.
And why is that?
That's a Care for Kids requirement. You would have to ask them.
Oh, I am. I appreciate that information. And so you said that this was a follow-up well visit. A follow-up.
It's like a follow-up well visit. It's like a Care for Kids follow-up. It's basically a well visit.
And so what happened during that visit?
It's like a little physical. They just make sure everything is going well.
Do you all have any referrals out for my son? For Tyrell Edward Morris?
Not that I don't see any.
You don't have any referrals out for him? So,
well, he does OT and PT. Those are referrals. The physical therapy for OT and PT. And then, what's this one? It's a speech therapy, same thing. And then there was a referral to the Child Development Center at Children's.
It was a referral? What do you mean it was a referral?
So there was a referral sent to Children's Child Development Clinic. Whether or not he's been seen there, I don't know.
And what was that referral for?
Developmental delay, autism spectrum disorder.
So what terms do you all do your diagnosis as far as what you would constitute as a delay or what you would consider a delay?
That would be a question for the nurse. I'm a receptionist. I can't answer any type of medical question.
And that question will also be a question for the doctor. Is that true as well?
Yes, that would be a question for the doctor. And the nurse could certainly help you with that.
Okay, because do you have a religion listed for my son?
No, we do not.
Okay. And so, because there is no religion for my son.
That's what we have in here. We have none.
Okay, because some of the things that you all are considering, what religion is your hospital based, your practices?
It's a Catholic-based hospital, but we see all religions.
And so because you are Catholic based, then that means that you proceed from a Catholic point of view. That
I do not. I work here. I do not know. they do follow the Catholic belief, but the doctors follow their own, what they feel is necessary.
So like that doctor will follow perhaps his own belief or her own belief?
He'll be medically. He'll do what he believes is medically necessary.
To their own discretion or provisions or whatever?
That I don't know. You would have to ask our nurses or our supervisor about that, how they do that.
Well, but I can ask what the nurses do.
Yes,
and I can ask what your
certainly help you and try to help you answer any questions that you have.
So
I can certainly get a message over to the nurse and have them call you.
I would like to schedule an appointment to meet with the team who works with my son, but also I want a separate meeting to meet with the actual doctor. I have not met him, and I want to make sure that this is all a good fit. My son is not Catholic. And I'm going to tell you something. I did not know anything I was not as knowledgeable, and a lot of things were more impressionable and, more influence, and, different things happen where, it was different convincing or whatever without explanation. But this is a new day and age. That's why people grow. Like that doctor, whoever it is, a nurse or whoever it is, that doctor has a specific amount of education and they grow. Like a doctor has to have spectacular math and, no math and all these high level trainings that a doctor actually have. You know what I'm saying? So this knowledge and information. And, when malpractice or practice is involved, that is a serious thing as well. And so with me, I have to and now that I'm growing, I have to continue my education and know, because as I know, my son is changing and there are some things that I want differently for my son. He should be growing in different ways that have not been addressed, in particular that I've been asking before that doctor had even retired, the previous doctor. And actually the first two doctors have already retired that have been working with my son since he was born. My son was birthed through a traumatic situation that hospital had put me through. And so there are some conversations that need to be had that are serious. It was abuse involved during the time when I was pregnant, and the whole situation. I had to reach out to insurance and file all kinds of different things with your Pride line and all that. But so that was a different day and age, but some of the information that you have, you're still factoring in, and it's continuing in my son's care. And now I want to make sure that my son, since he has to see you all through court order, I want to make sure that he is actually growing and not just being sent to a bunch of places. My son is not going to be this permanent person and keep going to all these places that are just seeing my son, how cute he is, how he is, and just get all kind of smiles because he's such a bundle of joy. You know what I'm saying? But they need to see my son as a growing person. My son has to grow in more areas where you all are kind of like attacking his development and his mind. My son has more than just that. But he should be able to be himself. I'm not hurrying my son along in his life other than what he wants to be for his life. Because you know what? I want you all to make sure I'm going to be here to take care of my son no matter who he is. And so there's probably some questions about him still being in briefs, like I told you. And there's a lot of things that I want to talk to that doctor about. And I want to make an appointment.
And what I'm going to do is get a note over to the nurse and have them call you, so they know exactly what type of appointment to schedule and how much time to give him, and to get more information from you on what you need. It'd be best to speak to the nurse and have them, so they can get everything that you want to make sure that it's all addressed. Okay? What is your callback number?
Can you all email me about this issue as well?
I could certainly let the nurse know that.
Okay, so I can tell you my email address, because you also have to make sure you notify me about appointments and stuff. And so I ask that you do that through email. It's JASMINE RENEEDAVIS@outlook.com.
Okay, and then what is your telephone number so that the nurse can call you directly?
It's not a telephone, but it is a mobile phone. That's what I was just about to tell you. That's 1262. I'm telling you now. It's 1262-505-7137.
Okay, so 505-7137, area code.
And then I can tell you another phone number too, just to make sure. It's 1262-498-6963.
Okay.
So there's plenty of information there. And so when I ask that you all email me about the appointments, and you can call me. Okay. Or however, if you send text messages or whatever, but you can call me, but do not call me and not email me. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Because I want to make sure. And like I said, this is a whole new day and age or whatever, but there's courts involved. And also there are some trust issues and some privacy factors that I also have a problem with. I'm not as happy with, the level of expertise, and skill that has, my son is 13. And so if you all have to be involved and you're trying to be in control or whatever, then you need to bring it up a notch and utilize the resources that you have to do world renowned activity to be more so on the healthy side of things. My son is not going to be a product of sick care. My son is healthy. My son is not to be sick. I understand that people give you all permission to experiment and things like that, but that's not what we're doing with my son. And so I want you all to can you note that, please? And I appreciate.
Yes, I will put that in the note to the nurse.
Okay, and I appreciate you talking to me, Eileen, and and this is a good, point of conversation to know that I could be on the phone with you all for almost 30 minutes and be able to say something to you and meet progress. It was some things that kind of contradicted itself when I was asking you about orders and different things and about the, my chart and the proxy and things like that. One question that was not answered was to make sure that all forms of communication would be in that my chart. Like whatever phone calls, I know you said, there has not been any phone calls to you, or you have not notified. Have you all notified the Department of Division of Children and Family Services at all from your office?
Not that I know of. That would be a Dr. Joe thing. If he feels that he would need to contact them, he would contact them.
Right, but
but I don't see any notes or anything about that.
Yeah, sure. That's what I say. You will see that in the notes, just as well as you said that they have not called. And so they are not being specific and, what they're doing as well. My son is not in foster care. Okay, but you all have him listed as foster care. That needs to be changed. Can you note that? My son can be with his grandmother. And there's, he is with his grandmother, and my mother takes care of my son.
Okay. Well,
and so
it's the way it's worded in the Care for Kids paperwork. I mean, I could certainly change that.
Yeah.
Technically, we don't have her in here as foster mom. We have her in here as grandma.
Sure. Guardian. But I know that it is listed because even when my son, it was no court order, and my son was at my mom's house, your office had my son in a note saying that he was in foster care. Why would my son have to be in foster care? Because people said
Care for Kids.
It was not Care for Kids had nothing to do with this. This was before 2023. Care for Kids did not get involved until probably August or September of 2023. I'm knowledgeable about these things. But what I'm saying is some people send their children to their grandparents for a summer, for a season, or whatever. And it's nobody's business, but that does not mean that they're foster children. Foster children, I've learned also from Forward Health, foster children have terrible insurance. They don't get the best treatment. They get like nearly bare minimum. I don't appreciate that. That's not even the only guiding factor, but that is a significant reason why I do not, because you all have some sort of management. When you look at, okay, this is what it is, and this is a foster child. And so when people get in that foster care system, they are basically treated like trash. They're being recycled, moved along, pressed along. That is not going to be my son. And I'm going to just let you all know that right now. And I just expect for you all to be more professional and have better etiquette and better ethics or whatever. I don't know how you talk to everybody else, but this is nothing that I'm asking you that is outside of your job. This is all well within the scope of your profession. And I do not want anything less. But the thing is, not only do I not want anything less, I'm not going to just agree to just anything random for my child. He's going to grow up. There was a Kennedy made a statement recently, and it was in the news, saying that children with autism would never have the chance to vote, never had the chance to date, never had the chance to work. They're completely writing off these children with autism. I do not want my son to be autistic. I need you to note that. And that's not because I just use that as a reference in this academic type of environment as well, where you all base your situation off of academics and religion and culture and heritage. My son is not going, and I said that earlier, and I'm being more detailed. Tyrell Edward Morris, my child, okay, is not going to be autistic. This is going to change. And if you all cannot care for him, you need to put that in writing, and then it can be properly handled. You don't get his whole life to figure out just to have him so that you can have XYZ, ABC, 1, 2, 3, 1,000 or whatever amount of autistic patients. You see what I'm saying? My son is not some blind study, and I don't particularly want him to be quite a patient, but he is there as a person that is showing up, and there should be some sort of, if it's not relationship, I would like to know of more appropriate and proper name to say. If you all aren't looking at him as a team member, then you all should not be looking at him. He is not anything less than any of you. He is his life that you all work for my child, for my baby. And he is not some dictator, and I'm not. And so it's not a family. And I want you all to realize that this is a professional situation. And if you cannot handle that,
I understand your point of view, and
how could you? And you interrupted me while I was speaking. No. And that's a problem. You interrupt me while I was speaking. So you have a prejudice on what kind of conversation you hear. You do not control the kind of mother that I am or what kind of person I am and where I come from. Your responsibility is to take the notes so that you can understand what I am saying and not talk over me or interrupt me when I am speaking to you. And the bitch hung up the phone. Once again, it is what it is. I get to the points that have to be addressed because I'm thorough and I'm going to handle this shit immediately. I'm not playing. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. Straight up. I'm not playing around. And this is serious. And I'm so happy. While I sit up here on this phone, I have to ask them, oh, really? Are you sure? Oh, no. And then they tell me no. And then they turn around when I tell them, oh, I know better. But they don't expect me to know. So they're going to be dishonest, and they have been on these phone calls. I'm uploading this video to YouTube. Yes, I am. Because it's Snowed In Notice. And it's far more than educational purposes. This is subject to audit and investigation and speculation, whatever. This is a serious matter. I'm not going to lose myself between the cracks. I'm not going to allow my son to be lost between the cracks, the inadequacies or pipelines. Kenosha, Wisconsin has a problem. They have been dishonest, and it does not matter. I do not have to be anyone's hero. I'm just Jasmine Renee Davis. So I'm going to go right ahead and start another video because I have some other calls that I have to make. This is real. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. And this call can be listened to again. This video, all this stuff. I'm so serious. And you know what? They don't even have time to listen. They have no place. They have no place. They don't care. That's not the place for that. They're supposed to hear. I didn't say anything irrational or abusive to them. But what I have been and did was get to the point. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis.